What is going on, everyone? I'm Jay Bryan,
I'm Jared. I'm Jared Washington.
and we want to welcome you to another edition of the Attention Span Podcast. Got a great episode this week. Man, first and foremost, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, like, tell the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy this content, and we'll keep it coming for you all. Man, so first want to start off with how you doing, man? Just to check in.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just working hard, getting everything together, taking everything one step at a time.
hmm
Uh
Getting nice haircuts with the part.
of course, man. Of course. Nah, but my son, and my kids, they started school. So I really just been trying to get them acclimated to that and get them good and stuff. And that's really like my main focus, making sure they good at school because, you go to school and stuff and you meet new kids and stuff. I always get worried about that because I don't want my kids getting bullied or anything like that. So like that's a big deal for me, like they go to school, meet new people,
What
you
you gonna
know.
do if they do get bullied?
I mean, my strategy is just to first of all talk to them, let them know like, hey, don't let nobody talk to you like that. Don't let nobody put their hands on you, But definitely try to calm the situation down with words. Try to be calm and cordial with them, peaceful, and tell them, hey, I don't like that. I'm not gonna do that. But if they don't accept it and they do it again 2 times or 3 times after you said that, it's time to hit them. And if you hit them and you do a good job of defending yourself, when you get home, it'll take you to go get ice cream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's my
sure.
take on it.
Yeah, I like that setting
What
the
you think?
boundaries. I like
What you
that setting boundaries. I don't have the same exact approach. Um, I do. I think that the person should always back up first. Go tell the team.
right?
I'm kidding. I do not think that at all. No. So so I think you should set a boundary, like you
Yeah,
just said. Hey, I don't like that. Nothing crazy. Don't curse them out. Nothing like that. I don't like that. Simple, straight to the point, so they understand. If you continue to do this, you continue to do this, we're gonna have a problem. Period. Don't keep going, nothing like that. That's it.
I
If
like
they
that.
decide to put past the boundary, you push past that line, you have my permission to do whatever. And please, for the love of the good Lord above, make it for real. For the love of the good Lord above, please make an example out of whoever you fight.
I like that. I ain't think about it
Not
like that.
not just to look strong, nothing like that, but bruh, social school, it's about education. Yes, it's about education, but it's also about socialization. It's also a microcosm of the real world. So that's a starting, it's like a breeding ground for your social status. Not that it means everything, but there is a certain status in school, and
Sure.
there's a way people will perceive you. Again, it's like a small piece, a small look into what real life will look like. Of course, real life is can be crazy. It can go all kind of different ways. So in out in the real world, if a group of people are looking at you fighting somebody, how you allow people to treat you and how you handle that situation will determine how they feel they can treat you.
Yeah,
So same thing in school. If somebody's bullying you, set the boundary, they push past that boundary, you have my permission to fight them. Make an example. I ain't saying like, go overboard or anything like that, but make an example and people will stay away from you. I wish I'd
yeah.
known that in school, myself.
I like, especially like your example part, making an example because if
It's
you in
important.
yeah, if you're in fifth grade or sixth grade, a lot of times by that time, those people around you, they're gonna be with you, unless your parents move away from the city.
Facts.
So if you set a good example, shoot, man, kids gonna know that. They're gonna remember that fight, no matter 12th grade, whatever,
Facts.
So that's
Facts,
a great
man.
point. I ain't think about that. I like that. I'm gonna keep that.
It's important. It's important. especially you get up in like middle school and high
Oh yeah,
school.
it's man, you got
All
to
you
be
gotta do is make
fearless.
one good example of somebody, and people know, do not mess with this person. That's
Yeah,
what
and
people
I
don't run
think
up on fighters, on like boxers and stuff like that. Like Mike Tyson. People know not to run up on Mike Tyson like that. They know not to. Why? They've seen this man on
I got
national,
it's funny.
international
Yeah.
TV beat the mess out of folks. They know not to run up on dude. They know.
except
So,
except that dude on the plane that was throwing water on his head behind him and stuff, or
oh well,
something
yeah,
like that.
that's yeah. I
Just
mean, some people have
some people
issues.
mentally
Yeah, they
ill.
don't
You
care
gotta
though.
be.
They got issues. And they. I
But
mean,
this my thing though. Like I don't know, bro. Like growing up, I promise you, I never knew that you should make an like what we just said, making an example, putting boundaries down. I don't know why in my head I was like, no, like I don't fight, just be shy, timid, like don't do anything as far as physical. You could talk, you could roast, you could say stuff, but don't ever hit somebody, even if they hit you and stuff. Turn the other cheek. I don't know what type of ideology or what belief system got me into thinking like that, but I never defended myself physically, like never. You know what I'm saying? I might have hit somebody who was weaker than me just to be like big and bad and like feeling good about myself. But if somebody was picking on me, I was more like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm not. What can I do? Because I'm not gonna hit them or nothing. Even if they like physically like, man, I beat your tail, and I'm like, shoot, okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But if they really would try it, I wasn't gonna really do that when I was younger because I don't know what was in my head. I just something was in my head like be scared all the time. Don't do it, don't fight, man, because you might get hurt and stuff. I don't know where that mindset came from or what, man. I don't know if it was some trauma from my childhood, but I definitely thought like that for a long time, and it took me a long time to get rid of that mindset.
yeah, I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't necessarily. Uh, I mean, I'm trained in the counseling field. I wouldn't label it trauma
Yeah.
necessarily. There may have been trauma. I'm not discounting that. What you're talking about, that could be different things. That ideology could have come from our parents, even subconsciously. They might not have said anything. We might have seen them do that. That could have came from our religion, how we grew
Yeah.
up. You know,
Yeah.
listeners, we grew up in a Christian household. We're adults now, so we can make our own choices and things like that. I'm
Yep.
still a Christian, of course, but we grew up in that household, and one of the main ideologies turn the other cheek. So if I'm gonna be a full-fledged Christian, that's part of it. Turn the other cheek. So
But
it could have
did
come
you
from a
have
lot of
those
places.
did you have those thoughts of like if somebody hit me, I'm afraid like of some people, not
Yeah.
everybody.
So no, I did. I wasn't afraid if somebody hit me. I would have fought them, but no one ever hit me. No one ever hit me. Well, I take that back. Someone did hit me one time. I was bullied in the fifth grade by a guy who I literally thought this guy was my friend.
Yep. Okay.
That's how
Sound
messed
about
up.
right.
That's how messed up I was, Jared. I thought that this guy was this was like a friend of mine. And
Sound
I'm
about right.
like, looking back, I'm like, bro, why in the world would you even hang out with this dude?
Straight up.
His name was Justin too. And I'll never forget, he used to hit me. I mean, he was just a rough dude, but he would bully me. Looking back, he would bully me. He's like, you better give me this stuff. He would bully me and stuff. I don't know why I hung around this dude. I would. Like I hang around him.
But
Uh,
I think that speaks to our mindset, our tribal mindset of like either you're attacking being a wolf or you're almost getting eaten because you can either be a wolf or a sheep and like it's hard.
yeah.
It's hard to
Well,
it's hard to differentiate,
well,
especially
here's
when
the
you're
thing.
a kid.
Here's the thing. It's a little sidebar. I'm talking about men because me and you are men. We as men, we have basically two animals in us. We have the wolf and we have the sheep. They're both inside every single male. Now, how we naturally walk around in the world, there's one that takes forefront always. There's one that takes
Mm.
forefront, our natural. So it might be the sheep. You might be a more and by sheep I don't mean like weak. I'm just saying you're more
Right. It's okay
calm,
to be a sheep.
laid back.
Yeah.
You just kind of agreeable, go with the flow. That's fine. That's fine. But that wolf is in there. So for example, let's say there's a guy who's real calm, he's real chill and stuff like that. And you run up on his daughter. Somebody runs up on his daughter, starts cursing him out, trying to hit her and stuff in front of him. That wolf gonna come out. That wolf, I'm telling you, is coming out. So it's in all of us. So when it comes to like us as kids, stuff is still there. The wolf and the sheep. It's even little boys. So when they go into school, they have to, the big thing to learn, school is not about just education. It's not even mostly about education, at least not in the sense of books. It's
Yeah.
really about social education. It's really about learning how to navigate that environment. So teaching kids how to navigate the environment that they're in using the wolf or the sheep, or let's say males, men, specifically little boys, that's extremely important. So when it comes to fighting, back then, my wolf, I mean, my sheep is that's like my natural state. I'm naturally just calm, agreeable. I mean, I've been wired that way, but that's how I am. I'm not trying to
So
change it.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. You got epigenetics, you got genetics, literally. You have
Oh
your
yeah.
wiring, your environment. You have all kinds of things that go into it. How you were subconsciously programmed as a kid. All this stuff, it's like a melting pot, goes into who you are, who you show up as an adult. So as an adult, I'm a pretty calm, agreeable. I mean, I am. I'm just a calm guy.
Oh yeah.
I pretty much go with the
Oh, your big five personality test where you have in conscientiousness and agreeableness.
Never taken it. The big
Okay.
five. But
Okay.
I have taken several other personality tests, and yes, I was high in like agreeableness, conscientiousness, stuff like that.
Me
Definitely,
too.
definitely. Um, I will say though, I grew up. The sheep is like my natural showing. It's just my
Me
natural way,
too.
and it feels natural. It doesn't feel like I'm forcing it or nothing like that. I really am this way.
Yeah.
Like this is really me. But but there have been times in my life where I had to have the wolf come out. I was walking
I
with our
seen it.
little, I was
I seen
walking,
it.
yeah, I mean, I was walking and I ain't no big tough guy, nothing like that. I don't even want to
Yeah.
fight like a
Yeah.
real. I don't even want to get like that, to be real. But there's times where I must. And when those times come, I'm going to full fledged, it's all coming out. It's all coming out. So there was a time a few years ago, and then I'll get back to the story. There was a time about the
You good?
fighting and
Yeah.
bullying. But that was a few years ago. I was walking with Craig Michael. That's our little brother. You all a different last name, so you won't find him if you try to search him up. Different last name. That's our little brother, man. And I was walking with him. I was right out of college, so this was like 2012 or so. I was walking in our neighborhood. We used to go for walks. So I'd go by myself. Mama would go sometimes. Craig Michael would go sometimes. We go for walks. One time we were walking and we had Diamond, who was our dog. We had Diamond with us. Diamond got off the leash, ran in somebody's yard. The lady came out and starts yelling at Craig Michael. Now, Craig Michael's a little bit ahead of me. So I walked up. I didn't like run up on the lady because she definitely would call the police. I mean, it was like a, medium-sized lady, whatever. But I walked up to her and I said, she was yelling at Craig Michael. I said, because Diamond came in the yard. I was like, we can get the dog out the yard.
Right.
But I said,
Right.
this is all I said. I promise you. She was yelling. I said, excuse me, is there a problem? That's what I asked her in that same voice. I was mad because I'm like, why is this lady yelling at my little brother right
Right.
here for
Right.
something we can
Over a
easily
dog.
resolve?
Right.
Like, get
Yeah.
your dog out of my yard. No problem. Yes, ma'am. I promise I would have been like, yes, ma'am, got the dog. Because she shouldn't have been out, Diamond shouldn't have been off the leash anyway. She got off the leash, ran in the lady's yard. She's yelling at Craig Michael. I said, is there a problem here? This lady looked so scared. She looked so scared. I promise you. She was like, no, 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 there's no problem. I promise you. Now, I wasn't gonna fight this lady. I wasn't gonna do anything to her.
Right.
But I was
But you
just
had to
I
demonstrate.
had to do that. I had to come in with the deep voice, like I had to use all the I mean,
Yeah.
seriously. I don't
That's
even
what it
talk
is.
like that. Like, what's the
Yeah.
problem here? But I literally had to use that. And that's just a small example, of course, of using that wolf part of us. Now, some people walk around with that naturally. The wolf is out all the time. There's more aggressive people, they're
But
more
you know what?
driver people, and that's okay. But that sheep is still inside of them. They might use that with just their family or something like that. So it all depends, man.
But you know what? I look at what you're saying also as a guy as the David Goggins like it's kind of thing, because the wolf is needed when you're working too. When you're
It
working
is.
on when
It
you're trying,
is.
you know what I'm saying? Like when you're like in
Exactly.
your head, like I want to just chill and stuff. That's the sheep. The sheep is like, I'm not gonna work at. I'm just gonna chill, play video
Chilling.
games, which I'm not saying that's wrong, But I think that wolf has to take over sometimes. You gotta take this shit. You know what I'm saying?
You
Be
gotta
like,
take, yep.
I'm gonna do this work, like,
Facts.
because
Facts.
that's I'm a fucking wolf, you
Facts.
know. So it's like
Like I'm about to, oh, I'm gonna do this. I don't care
I'm a
what
crush.
you said, bro. I'm doing this. I don't care if I have to just make my hand click, whatever it might be. I'm doing this. Yeah, I agree.
And then that reminds me of what you always tell me. You told me like, hey man, no matter what you do, zombie your way through it if you have to, but
If you
just
have
get
to,
through
yep.
it.
Just do it. Show
Consistency.
up, looking red-eyed, ugly, all of that. For real. There have been times I've been like, man, like I for real. I'm like, bro, I'm tired. But I
What
still
about
just
that?
zombie my way through it.
What about that one podcast when I was like,
The one we didn't post. And it was like for real, the whole episode. What up, man? I'm like, you good, bro? I'm like, okay. Okay,
hey,
bro.
chill, bro. Chill, don't do that. Don't
I'm
do that
like,
to me.
I'm like, okay, that's
Don't
cool.
tell them about that, man.
But no, but back to the story. So fifth grade, I was in fifth grade, used to be friends with this guy. So one day I got sick of him. Now this was Justin in fifth grade. This is Jay in fifth grade. I promise you, I got sick of this man. I said in my head, I remember thinking, if he say one thing to me today, I guess I was having a bad day. I don't know what was up. I said, if he say one thing to me, I'm gonna bust him in the head with a rock.
That's another level, boy. That's
That
another
man
level.
came up. He said something to me, bro. I leaned down, picked up this rock. There was a rock on the ground. It was about for real. It was about this big. I said, boom! Like I hit him.
Chill
I hit
out.
him. I promise you,
That's some bullshit.
bro. I promise
Man,
you, I hit this man.
Justin.
But hold on. That's not the end of the story though. Then the sheep came out because dude turned and looked at me, and I dipped. Boy, I ran so quick, bro. I was like, oh no! I ran inside the apartment, ran all the way
Hey,
to look.
you got him.
I ran in because he had always pushed me and stuff like that and all that. So that man had pushed me one time and said something. Well, I said, you hit the dude. He turned around, boy, I ran. I took off. He was bigger than me. I took off. Bro, I ran in the apartment where we used to live. At it's called Ridgeland Ranch now. But Jared might know what I'm talking about. I used to 4B when we lived
Oh yeah,
downstairs. Y'all know if you remember that, but bruh,
Parker Ridgeland.
yeah, Parker Ridge. I used to when I was dipping and ran in mama's room. She was in there and he chased me into the apartment, but he stopped in the living room because mama knew this guy. Mama know
Oh,
because remember I hung around with him a lot. So man, that was crazy. But both of those, I say that story to illustrate both of them were there the whole time. Like I was naturally just the sheep was showing and how I was carrying myself. I wasn't aware of it back then, but it was showing. And then that wolf came out at a certain time where I was like, I'm sick of this. I was back into a corner, at least emotionally. I was like, okay, I can't take none of this stuff today. So I bust this dude in the head with a rock if he'd say anything to me, you know. So as I got older, and got learned about like personal development and started reading about communication, uh, socializing, different things like that. How do I socialize as an introvert? As somebody who is naturally introverted, not shy. I have people skills, but I'm an introvert. How do I socialize best as myself, with my disposition? As I start to learn these things, that's when I found out about personality tests and personality types and how school is about education, like the books, but it's more so about the social education, what's accepted in society. When the bell rings, that's when the class is dismissed. That's when it's time to move to the next activity. You get up early, you try to go to the next activity on your own time, you're in trouble. Lunch is at a set time. Make sure you ask to go to the bathroom to leave your desk, go to your work. Do you have permission to be walking the halls? Do you have permission to be walking in a hallway,
yeah.
in a building? When you think about these things, it kind of it makes sense after a while. And yeah, that's why when I learned that, I say I wish I'd known that when I was a kid. Would have saved me a lot of trouble, right? because I was bullied several times throughout the years after that, and it was kind of it was they no one ever fought me, but no one ever physically fought me, but they talked trash. They wanted to fight me a couple of times, and if I would have known, hey, go ahead and fight this dude and beat the brakes off of him. If I'm talking about beat the brakes, and just let all your anger out, beat the brakes off this guy. He wasn't a trained fighter, neither was I. I'm gonna beat the brakes off this dude. Like, you're gonna get destroyed. I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna try to destroy you. Especially if I know this will get people off me for the rest of my school years, at least my like middle high school year. I'll beat
Yeah.
the brakes off the guy.
I think, and you said it, you alluded to this in past podcasts. It's like you said that girl told you, she said, hey, why don't you look people in the eyes? You got good looking eyes.
Yeah,
That,
she was like, you got nice
that,
eyes.
that changed the whole social dynamic. You started interacting more and doing things. I think for me, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but if I would have had one person that I loved or cared or respected
Yeah,
tell me like,
disrespect it. Yeah,
yeah, just look me in the eyes one time, be dead serious, like forget the words, just look at me, talk to me, and tell me like, Jared, hey, you don't have to be scared of anybody. Just fight back. Whatever you do, it's okay, and you're gonna win. Just go destroy him if you have to. Man, if anybody would have told me that, Justin, I know for a fact I would have had more self-respect and self preservation in those moments. But I didn't get that one time. It just that's something that I feel like Dad. That's something that I'm not gonna say I blame him, but I look at Dad and I'm like, man, you could have at least told me that. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted that from somebody, man, and I lost a lot because I didn't get that conversation, and I don't blame it
yeah,
on nobody. But I
yeah. It's
just
not your
know,
fault. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility now that you're aware of it to like,
yeah,
fix it.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And you as a child, you don't know when you're in it. It's like being in a forest. You can't see everything because you're in it. So
Yep.
so so it's like, man, them conversations are crucial, man. People don't understand, man.
Yep.
Like some positive words, some real like man shit, like that could take you a long way, man. And I
It
and I
can.
missed it. I
It
missed
can.
that boat, bro. I mean, I'm a high in agreeableness, high in self conscientiousness. I think a lot. I got a lot of like they call it masculine and feminine. I got a lot of feminine traits, but you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not, gay or anything like that. But
Right.
you know
Just
what I'm
the
saying?
feminine
But I'm
side.
high,
Yeah.
but high, being high in agreeableness, being self-conscious a lot, that's what females do. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Men usually are just like attacking, like whatever. I don't care how I feel.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that comes from not having those conversations when I was younger. And I'm just like, damn, like you could really change somebody's life as a parent by just being there for them,
Yeah.
and talk.
You
So I
can.
do it with my kids, man. Justin, I'm having the conversations, bro. If I like, whenever I can, you know what I'm saying. Even though I'm not with Faith and Roma, if I could just sit there and look them in the eyes and say, "Hey, look, defend like that." That's the things I want them to remember. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Just I would I definitely understand that. I definitely feel the same way. We're kids. Our parents are the ones that are responsible for pouring into us, Just but parents do the best they can. I'll say that. The best that they know to do. I'm
Yeah.
sure if mom and dad would have known to do that, they would have done it. We know to do that, so we do it with our children. But I don't think they knew that. I don't think like I know dad used to read a lot of personal development books and things like that. I don't know if he applied all of that with us necessarily. I don't think he even knew to do that. I don't think that was in his mind at the
Yeah.
time. So and that's okay. That's okay. That's not your fault. It's not my fault either. It's not. I'm not even saying it's our parents' fault. They just didn't know. It was ignorance.
Yeah.
And then when we get in like middle school and older, it's our peers. It's our peers, my man. If a peer would like pour into me, like, hey man, you can do it, stuff like that. That's why that pivotal moment I told you about in 8th grade, when Jamie told me that I was so quiet. For the listeners, I was so quiet from kindergarten all the way up till 8th grade. I was so quiet. I would look down when people talk to me. Like, seriously, no one ever told me, hey, look up when you're walking. I tell my daughter, I say, hey, look up when you're walking. I mean, she doesn't look down in lack of self-confidence. She looks down sometimes. I go ahead and tell her, hey, look up when you're walking, look at people in the eye. I tell my son, he's not even 2. I'm like, hey, son, I have him look at me first. Then we talk. I get down eye level with them. I get down eye level. So anyway, I used to look down at the ground and not even like talk at school. I talk at home, but I was so self-conscious at school, so shy. And this girl randomly just paying a compliment. She was like, I was at lunch one day. She said, hey, Justin, which is my government name, my real name. She said, Justin, you have some really pretty eyes. You should look people in the eye when they talk to you or you're talking to them. That's all she said. I said, well, I didn't even say it with this confidence. I say thank you. I was like, thank you. You know, I just kind of,
That's
I
that
just
Jerry
kind of,
podcast thing.
right. I just kind of mumbled it under my breath, right? But it changed the trajectory of my life. Not immediately, but it changed the direction I was going as far as socially. I started to talk more slowly, start to look people in the eye, talk, and then, eventually I became this, which I mean, now I can socialize with anybody. Literally, I can talk to anybody. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, man.
you've been a manager before at Fridge, right? You was a manager.
No, they asked me to be one though. They
Oh,
definitely asked me. I was like, no, I'm good. Back then, I never wanted. I found that when I seek power, it's almost like that. I forget who the uh, Ben Shapiro mentioned this once. Um, he mentioned this. Oh, he said he doesn't want someone to be president who is seeking to be president. He said the person I wants to be president, I have some criteria for it. One, they can't want to be president because people that want to be president or want positions of power are typically not the best people. Typically, not the best people to get them. Um, and I found that to be true for me. If I seek positions of power, anytime I've gone for it, like a supervisor or something like that, and gotten it, it hasn't been a good experience for me. It just
oh
hasn't. It's
wow.
been rough. But anytime somebody was in need of me to become like step up a little bit, and they like asked me, "Hey, do you would you help me by being a lead, where I could add support to someone by being a lead or a supervisor of sorts?" Now I've done that, and it's been a completely different story. So I find that it's not the best for me, but they asked me. Um, but yeah, all that comes into play, man. That socializing, all that comes into play, and going back to what you originally said, it's great that you're telling your son, what you need to tell him about if he does get bullied. It may not, if he does, it's so important to talk about that early. It doesn't matter if you're so for people listening, son or daughter, it doesn't matter. For people listening, if your child is for both me and my brother are both parents, our children aren't all in high school or anything yet, but we've been through school ourselves. Only, of course, as males, as men. But I can tell you, let me just speak personal experience. So in case anybody wants to ever come back and say, oh, y'all said this. No, I'm saying this. If you have a daughter or a son, it doesn't matter how they are naturally. If you want them to succeed socially, at least, just have a decent social experience and they're getting bullied, the best thing to do is not to run and tell the teacher. Let me explain why. Best thing is not to run and tell the teacher. When you're a little kid, when you're a little kid, it's acceptable a little bit. I say a little bit because when you're a little kid, no one cares if you run and tell somebody. I mean, that's what you do. You run and tell a parent or something like that. You're a little kid, right? But if you're in third, fourth, fifth grade, and you're older and you're telling people, people will label you as a tattletale, snitch. I mean, whatever, just a basic term, like somebody who tells on people.
Yeah.
Whistleblower if you're in corporate. I mean, there's all kind of things. People will label you that, and that will follow you throughout your years. So I'm not a believer in running straight and telling the teacher. I'm a believer in this. Set your boundary. Set your boundary. If they cross that boundary, then you have my permission to attack. Or if you get hit first, you automatically have permission to attack. And if you fight, now this is where we diverge in what we say, Jared, because you said you tell your son, I know you can win. I'm going to tell my son similar. You can win. I want you to make an example. Same thing with my daughter. I tell them, make an example of them, but I also tell them if you lose, I promise you, I won't think any less of you. I love you anyway. I love you anyway. Now, your peers, that might be different. I mean, that's a whole other thing if that happens. If you end up fighting and you lose, that's a whole other thing. That might be a problem. We might have to figure out a way to address that. And I'm willing to work with them because I've been through this thing, bullying.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely open to it. But bro, I am here. I love you no matter what you do. I love you no matter what. You lose, you win. I don't care if it's sports. I don't care if you get in a fight at school. I don't care if you're rich, poor. I don't give a dang. I really don't. I love you unconditionally. This
Did
is
you ever
not
feel
based
like
on
that?
what you accomplish, huh?
Did you ever feel like that? Like, man, if I get in this fight with this dude and lose and I go home, mama or dad's not gonna love it. Did you ever feel like that?
No, I never once felt.
Because
I always respect. I always respected. Just had a from afar respect of our parents, no matter what they did, or like a respect for authority. Is I think it's oldest child syndrome. Just like I just had a respect for them, but I was never like I need their.
approve.
Well, I get no. Actually, yeah, I did need their approval. Actually, for pretty much everything I did. I think, but I don't think I actively like was looking for it, ever talked about it with them. But a lot of stuff I did was the path that where it impressed them. They liked it. They liked what I was doing. I was smart in school and stuff like that. Uh, and there were a lot of things that I didn't just naturally come to those conclusions myself. I was like, oh, when I do this, my mom is happy. She likes this. Like she gives me money. She tells me good job. She's like, she gives me positive attention. So yeah, it was. I don't think I ever like said told myself, hey, I'm looking for their approval. I don't think I ever thought that, but I was without even realizing it. Definitely, definitely. But we all have our own thing. For example, our brother Jeremy, the one right under me, he doesn't seek their approval he doesn't seek approval from anybody at all to do anything. Or not
Yeah, yeah.
not not us, not his family. He
You want to
doesn't.
talk about viewers? You want to talk about somebody, a wolf, somebody that nobody gonna miss through school, through anything he touch. I don't care what's going on. He ain't getting bullied. He not fucking getting bullied. I'm sorry to curse. I apologize. There's
Yeah,
one
I don't
guy.
think any of us getting bullied anymore.
Nah.
Not in the real world, not out here. But
Oh no, definitely not now. Nah.
but
I'm
yeah,
talking about back then. Shoot, Jimmy was always like bigger than everybody. Like everybody. That's the one dude. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all a story, man. And this right here, this is so true. And I don't know why I don't know why I couldn't do it. I was sleeping on the couch. I was enjoying myself. It was some great sleep. I'm talking about like A1 sleep, REM sleep, the highest level of sleep. I'm good. You know, alpha, whatever, delta, I'm in it.
Delta wave,
So, yeah, I'm
the
delta
gamma
wave.
waves,
So
and
next thing I
Thanos
know,
gauntlet.
man, look, man, I'm Thanos. I'm knocked out. Next thing I know, man, I wake up just a little bit out of my sleep. You know, you just get up, like wake up a little bit, you're like,
Yeah,
and I'm like, and I smell something. So I smell. I'm like, that's that smell I hate. It was mustard. Like I hate mustard. Shit. So I had like dried mustard, like right here,
I remember we did that.
all right here, y'all, all right here. So I go like, man, who put mustard on me, man? The whole time I'm smelling it, but I'm mad. So I'm like, it was just so like this. It was bad for me.
Yeah,
I'm like, who did this, man? And then
I remember that.
Jim was like, I was just playing, man. I was like, all right, is what I said. I said, all right. I said, now when I get you back, when you go to sleep, I'm gonna do the same thing. He said, that's exactly what he said to me. This is what he said to me, and I agreed wholeheartedly. He said, if something gets put on me while I'm asleep, or somebody put anything on me, I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna beat you up bad. I was like, but you put something on me. He was like, nope. If something get put on me, I'll beat him. I was like,
that sounds like
you
him.
got it. I was like, you got it then. Okay, bro. That's how like intimidating this man was to me, bro. Like Jimmy was one intimidating dude growing up. I'm sure to a lot of people.
Yeah, bro, for sure. So it all comes into play, man. Yeah, definitely, definitely. But we got to talk more, probably next week about like personality tests. Man, I need to take that big five. I
I
think I'll
will
have
too.
a little more time to take. I'll be able to take it like next week. This week has been really busy and crazy for me at work, but
Yeah, we can
man,
both take it, and
we need
I
to take
send
it and
mine,
see
and
what's
you can
up.
show you can share a screen to show the results to the viewers and stuff. We can do that and talk about it for both of them.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely,
I like
man.
that idea.
Yeah. So, man, it's been amazing talk, listeners. Hopefully, you got something out of that. Um, man, let's go with the announcements. Let's go with the announcements. So, Jared, Magnolia Lawn Solutions, what's up?
Yeah, man. We working, got a couple things going on, couple contracts we working on and stuff. Trying to kind of solidify them, just go back over, make sure we're doing everything right, to crossing our T's, dotting our I's. Everything is good. We're not having any issues. We're taking it one day at a time. And Magnolia Lawn Solutions is our lawn care business. If you want to know, you can contact us at 601-249-9140. Or you can contact us at Magnolia Lawn Solutions at protonmail.net. And yeah, those are my announcements for this week.
Nice, man. So, and for me, you all, I work with teams of corporate trainers and help them with their learner engagement. If you would like me to come in and work with your team, I do consulting, I do speaking, I do coaching, and you can reach out at www.jbrianspeaks.com. Again, that's www.jbrianspeaks.com. You can also email me at info@jbrianspeaks.com. Again, that's info@JAY, B as in Bravo, RIANSP as in Papa, EAKS.com. Man, and with that, remember, subscribe, comment, like. I see we got a couple more subscribers. I got a story to tell you about that, Jared, after I stop hitting record. But with that, man, come subscribe, comment, like. And again, I'm Jay Bryan,
I'm Jared Washington.
and we appreciate y'all checking out the Attention Span Podcast. Y'all have a great one. Peace.